All right, everybody likes it when we do more stuff that's boring, so that's what we're gonna do. Livestock trailer wiring. Right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Ross the Oliver Man. My little world's cheapest livestock trailer here, you know, that we didn't give a lot for, and now we're spending, you know, 9 times what it's worth fixing it up. But yeah, it's coming along. I found some stuff that I think is going to make our lives work more better. And I'm running out of hands here, so I'm just gonna have to drop some of it on the ground. I found some of these single-ended connectors, which are going to be important in this area right here. We're going to need the ground stays out and the brown stays out, but then we can connect the other one. I'll probably just connect the other two, even though the one we're not going to use, but to send the power back for the brake light back there. And then the white one and the brown one has to also tie into this clearance light when we get the new one put out there. So what we will do is we will put a butt connector, twist these two together, put a butt connector, and then on the other end we'll stick in this, and that'll go. I could not get these in a bigger size, like a gauge size, so that was the thing there that was holding us. Now for these, my magical my magical thing that I could not get the plugs for. Napa had a couple plugs, but I don't think they're gonna work. I need to get the kind that, well, maybe they'll work. I don't know. Let's not give up hope yet. The pattern is right, but it's the extra stuff on the, you know what I'm saying? I just don't think that's gonna go. It might though. It'd sure be good if I could see what I was doing. There we go. By golly, I think we can make that work. I don't think we needed the extra here, but I think it's gonna work. It feels in there secure, and it feels like the pins are all seated. I watched them go in there, so I think that's gonna be just fine. So another hurdle is sorted. Now, the next question is, where do we want to go from here? Well, you see, we still got another end of wire we could run, namely the end that's going to go down that way. And so, should we just go ahead and do that now? I mean, we're in it this far. The thing is totally disabled again. I mean, it's not at all what we had really planned to be doing, but I think these are the problem's going to be to get the wires. Like if we want to use this as a pull wire, I think it would be better to tie it on the back again and pull it forwards, because there's so much conflicting stuff. And again, somebody's worked on it here not too long ago, and they actually, you know, they've done some stuff here. I'm not saying they did a good thing, but they did some stuff. It's got newer wires in it. Our poor little, this will be the one we use to get what we want pulled through there. I'm not real sure what we got going on out here with our lighting situation. Oh, it's just like it's just jammed in the Well, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Look at how nice those are. Good thing I got all new stuff. Okay. There's enough out here. I think we might. That needs to stay back for going up to the other deal. Will you participate, wires, and stay out of my way for a little bit here? We're gonna tie onto that. Then we're gonna get this all I think what we're gonna do is try to get this fed out the end. Oh no. Yeah, see, I'm very nervous about, okay, I think that'll go, providing I didn't pull it too far already, because we did make it wider. Let me go tape my, well, I say that, but I'm gonna make sure I got a second roll of wire. We'll go tape that to the back here, and then we'll pull through. See, the thing you can't see on camera is that my head hits the roof of this all the time. Like it's just low enough that it's very inconvenient. Now, another thing I forgot to do, I thought it was in my pocket, was get the electrical. What a thing. This is way more than we need, but I don't trust that part that's been crimped, so I would rather have more than not enough. Then what you're gonna do is struggle. See, those other wires, they just will not stay out of our way for anything. They don't want to get in there. Stay out of the way. I get so frustrated when simple stuff. Let's wrap that around there, maybe. That's probably a mistake. With any luck, this will make the journey. The last time we had to kind of help it get started. Okay, buddy boy, it's up to you now. It's gonna get almost all the way up there, and then it's gonna not come through. I think you just watched it kind of grind out part of that. Must have been peeling on that white coating, but that's the ground wire, so that's okay. If it had to do one, I'm afraid what's happening here is it's pulling the brown wire out of the, there we go. There we go. Come on, baby. Come on. You can do it. Yeah. Okay, well, we got a hold of the new, but we're not. Come on. Pull through there, baby. We need a little more. We need a little more. Oh, nope. She ain't gonna go. Quite enough yet. Oh, balls. What do we do? Okay. We do a risky thing and we start pulling on them with a plier. Maybe we get that tape off of there. That might be all it takes. Yep. Yeah, I think it was that electrical tape wad that we were using for our pull piece. Alright, now this is gonna go in there. These are gonna go through there. Trust me, I know what I'm doing. It doesn't look like it, but I do. We could put this box up for keeps now, see? Get in there. Yeah, that's gonna work. Just dandy. Come on. Just dandy, he says, as he can't feel his hand. There we go, there's one. Oh, come on. And then this one. Go here. Okay, we're getting there, friends. We're getting there. Somebody commented in the video, why are you doing this? Why didn't you get one of those trailer junction boxes? I explained that a while back. Trailer junction boxes are plastic, and a cow will destroy it. Ask me how I know. I've been around. They do it. Cow don't care about you or anything you love. Right now I'm just kind of messing around here, but not really. What I'm thinking here is I'm getting ready to make my connections, see? And I want as much stuff together as possible. So I'm gonna have to I have to get myself ready here for everything. And I'll probably just go with the giant butt connectors in this one to make sure everything is just what I want. I need to probably trim this up a little bit. It's actually kind of hard for me to see in here. Probably hard for you to see too, because you weren't pointed at anything spectacular. You know, we were outside all day today, and it was just nice, and then now as soon as I want to do this, that stupid wind is starting again. And yeah, it just cuts right through you. Alright, let's see about stripping these away a little bit from each other so we have some room to maneuver here. Okay. Now, we know that we want all of the white wires together. I will probably, I think what I'll do is I'll put these. I'm going to put we're not doing brakes right now. They're actually disconnected in the box in the tongue. But we're going to set ourselves up for that day when that happens by going ahead and doing this now. At least I thought that would be a cool thing to do. these two. Oh, this is the one that, yeah. That's why I like this little wire pliers. You don't have to slip it through. To do anything. Well, all of our grounds are now as one. Somebody asked where the heat shrink was. Well, it's in the box. I'll use it on another project. I'm gonna go this route on this project. Alright. That part's done. Now let's hook up our, well, I gotta think about that. I think your black, in this case my black wire is gonna go to the blue wire because of the way that this is. Trailer brake. Yeah, blue is the other one and then white is the ground. So the blue has to go, in my case, the blue wire is going to go to the black wire here because that's how she's going to be wired up for brakes someday. Maybe, probably never, but it makes it look nice when you get pulled over if everything's hooked up. If it doesn't work, why, I'm no magician. If it's hooked up and it's not working, what do I know? Now this one's going to get one of our fancy other ones that we just bought and now lost immediately. There they are. Probably way too much. Probably need to trim some off. Just a little bit. There we go. And you're going to say, why not use a wire nut? Well, in my experience, multi-strand wire, I don't know, it doesn't always play nice with wire nuts. This is actually made for this very thing. Matter of fact, I've seen a lot of new trailers that have it this way. So, that's the thing. So, we're gonna go that route. Alright. There's two things off of our list. Now we won't use the red or the black one in my orientation. I can't even remember. One of them's the backup light and one of them is the power, 12 volt power to back here because that's that many wires in that thing and we don't need either one of those. We don't have a backup light. Actually, I wouldn't be opposed to putting one on, but the pin did not energize on the thing for some reason, so we're not going to worry about that. That's not, most trailers like these don't have a backup light. I'm going to get rid of these. Your day is done, little ring terminals. You got us by for a few days. Let's pull all the yellows together now. Again, I'm tempted to, it would be sweet if I could use the, let's see if that would work. I mean, we're using 3 wires, not 4, so maybe I could use the single-sided connectors for this. Probably not. Probably have her screwed up here shortly. Let's give it a try. All we can do is fail. But I bought them for this reason. I bought them to see if I could. It just saves a step, you know. Oh, it might go. I think that's gonna work. Well, how about that? Using something the correct way for a change. Put a little tape on that. And technically, I would only need 2 of the wires. I wouldn't need to send power to the other side of the thing because one of them is one and one's the other, but in other words, left and right, you know. I'll probably grow to regret this because if there's ever a short, it's going to multiply the places that you would have a problem, but I think it'll be fine for now. Come on. Okay, green. This just takes the thinking out of it here. If I just tie them all together, then I know they're going to have all the power they need. And then when I get to the back corners, then I'll isolate the one that it is. Riveting footage, friends. Riveting. Okay, that's done. Now the only one left is the browns. The browns. These we do need on every side because they do the tail lights. Oh. Alright, we're getting there, friends. We're getting there. We can just about now go ahead and tighten that box up to the wall and put the cover on it because we're gonna pretty well be done in there now. He says as he drops all of his tools to the ground. Yeah, I think we got her licked, friends. Come on. Those will tuck in there and they'll stay safe, and if we ever need to work on them, they'll be right where we need to go. Oh, you know what else Ross did that was stupid? And he forgot. So he's not done. So he's gonna have to actually splice in again. Isn't that dumb? He's gonna have to redo the brown one because he needs this singular clearance light is going to need wiring, and he does not have said wiring. So Let me look around, see and what if I got any. Do I have any extra piece that I think looks really nice? So stupid. I also needed the ground. I also needed the ground. I didn't think about this. I need to get it into that. There's a spider web in there now. Okay, well, we went from me being happy and thinking we're almost done to now we're gonna have to backtrack a little bit, but that's okay. You know, if we didn't have to do that, I would think there was something wrong, because stuff just doesn't go right the first time. It never does. But we had a nice practice run, you see. We had a nice practice to know that we should be able to do what we thought. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I don't know how I'm going to get that fed up through there. Oh, almost. Look at there. So we'll stick that down in there. I'll put this back now. I hope. It's just frustrating when you try to do a good job, but then something stupid happens and you forget what you were gonna do. You know, this is the only place that this is like this. All the rest of them are already accounted for. But since this one has this box here that I put in, I thought I was just gonna run a short little jumper right to it. Because like on the other one, they both come up here and it's no problem. You tie them in together. I tell you. So now we have to remember that our brown one is our brown one and our yellow one is a white one. So where do we want to? I guess we'll just do it over again on both counts, and that's just the way she rolls. Of course, I gotta get them separated. Alright. Our brown one is really our brown one, but our other one is our yellow one. Our yellow one is our white one in this case, because I used just an end of wire that I had here. That's not the right one. That's the end of the tape. I was so happy that I had this all figured out. Now I'm going to start all over again. That's okay though. Yeah, I was going to see if I could possibly fool it into participating, but I don't think it's going to let me do that. Nope. That's fine. We saved a little bit of it. We just don't want our wires to keep getting shorter and shorter and shorter until we ain't got nothing left. Alright, we'll get it. I promise. We might have to go 4 on this one, or not 4. We have 4. We might have to go the butt connector route. I don't know. I'm going to try to peer pressure it into playing nice. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a lot of wire. I think we'll get it. Yes. Yay. We're coming along. It worked. It was just a little bit of a detour, but it's gonna go. Looks like crap, I know, but don't worry. It's not yours, so it'll be fine. This is the... Now we need to make this connection again. We had a good practice run at that. See, if I had heat shrink these, it'd be a lot more difficult to fix my screw up. Alright, well, it was nice while you lasted, wasn't it? Try to save as much wire as I can. Alright, we'll get it. Think happy thoughts. Thoughts. Right. Yellow butt connector. Get it crimped on that side, and then we'll move to the other side. It's a little bit long. Can make it. It's gonna go. Don't forget you little yellow guy. You go. You get tied to the white ones this time, because you are a ground wire. I need a little more. Alright. All right, we're almost there now, for real. For real, man. We're gonna tape this wad up differently this time, since we ended up way shorter than what we originally intended. And the tape is just added protection to keep it from vibrating apart. You know? Now, friends, we have everything done. We need to tighten that before we stuff all these in. But they will all go in there easy. There's a lot of room. I could shove them back in. We can put the plate on, then that is good. We have our wire here for this light. We have our new wires over here that will connect to this light and then go back. And then we have our new wires coming out both sides there. So they will be able to connect to the corresponding stuff that needs to be. And so now we are probably ready for mounting of clearance lights on the side, because that directly affects how we're going to continue here. We can't wire anything up without it. And this side's going to probably be easy because somebody has already removed the old, well, somebody's already replaced them with something else, which didn't even work. But the other side, they're still riveted in from the factory, so I'm going to knock those rivets loose and then do whatever. And we're going to have to drill all the holes because I'm sure there's no correct matching holes, and we're going to have to get hardware to bolt through. I'm thinking that maybe these are going to be what we use, so we're going to recycle what we had used earlier. But I guess there's no way to know other than to just start in on it. Let's see if we can save this one. Then we'd have one more that we didn't have to go provide for ourselves. I don't like that side of the trailer looks like Swiss cheese. There's so many holes there. That's kind of ridiculous, but let's have a look at our, see at our new light. He says as he can't get it open. It did come with screws, like sheet metal screws, but I just don't think that's what we want. I think we really want, and we can't use that new one because it's too fat, the one that I just took out of this. Let me do some, I want to test this theorem. Okay, that's not going to work, but I think I have the neck size down of these, and if that's the case, then we'll be in business, because what we're working on here is the head has to fit down in that light without cracking it. So we will do some experimentation on that. Let's take a step outside though and see how this is going to look. I think I can, I mean, we're going to feed the wires through whatever, through that bigger of the holes. And we might have to, I really don't want to have to drill any more holes. Or what I'm saying is, I really don't want to have to drill. I'm going to have to drill more holes, just because that's the way she is. But, you know, I could almost use them if I went crooked like that, but I'm not willing to go crooked like that, am I? That would be so stupid looking, but it would save me drilling a bunch of holes. No, we're going to go like this. We will drill 2 new holes, which is fine. We're going to have 1 stray there, but that's only going to be on this side because nowhere else will have that situation. But I kind of like those. They're kind of stylish little fellers. This one can go away. Delete. I'm just going to try to see what kind of hole situation we had here, and if I could cover them. I guess I'll have to go inside to do that. I don't know why I thought that I, you know, could just make it work. Oh, and of course, yeah, we're struggling here. And the reason is, see, that's rusty. And the only reason it's rusty is because I just put the pliers down and the screwdriver and didn't bring them with me. If I brought them with me, then that would work all day long. But since I did, oh, this is gonna suck. I can't really get out of there. It's probably gonna be the kind of deal where a guy has to get the grinder and cut, which is kind of ridiculous because on these tiny little bolts you ought to be able to, yeah, do that. It's gonna say these thin little bolts, I ought to be able to twist them off. But what I wanted to do that for was, now we're gonna take this light and we'll go outside and see what it looks like. Angry cow. Get in there. We also have to decide what we're going to do about that. That's a later project. We can do that last. We also need to get these riveted up there again. But I'm hoping that if I put this through the hole and then we put this on there, that it's going to totally cover all the other sins of the thing. You know, it'd be sweet if we could use that hole, but we're not going to. We want the wire centered in there, and then that'll go there like that, and then that one will go there like that, but not crooked. You know, it'll go in there. And if I don't have the right bolts, why then I'll go get some at some point, because it would really be cool to have this looking like it should be, you know. And then that'll leave us all our stuff there we can splice in, and it's coming along. Okay, we're gonna probably have to find a stopping point here because we've shot over an hour of footage and I'm about done. I mean, maybe when I edit it I'll find it's not worthy of a video and I need to keep going, but oh well, we're deleting that piece, so that's just one step closer when we go to fix it for real. I think we're gonna put this down for keeps, and then that part will be done. We don't have to mess with that again. And another thing is, I thought I brought everything into here. Yes, the metal cover that we will need when it's all said and done, of course. Yeah, I need to grab my screwdriver again that I threw across the room here a while ago. And we'll pull our wires back out for temporary, or not, or we'll wedge them in deeper where we can never see the light of day again. That's fine too. Also, I couldn't find the 3/8 socket in the back of the truck, or the 7/16 one real handy, so thought I'd use this obnoxiously overkill one so that maybe I could also twist off the hardware too. There we go. That's beautiful, friends. That box is super solid. That's what we wanted. Let's put, oh, why did I do that? I need that in just a second. Alright, let's see if we can tuck this stuff in. Those two wires are doing nothing. All these wires are very important. I got another idea, which is probably not necessary, but I'm sitting here looking at this and I'm wondering if I ought to just, let me see if I can lay some tape here so that the wires don't rub on the lid. I doubt that that would actually be a thing, but it can't hurt anything, you know. It's just that they're kind of, I don't know how they'll finally live when they heat up and bounce around, you know. They might live in a different way. I like how everything is, it's not really binding anywhere. Like through this joint here, Everything's just hanging out. Let's put that on there. Screwdriver. Turns out it's actually a little too big for this, but doesn't fit in there real good. But maybe it'll get us where we need to go. Or not. It only works when it wants to. That's fine. There we go. All right. We might even shoot some silicone in there before we're done, just to seal that up so it doesn't get trash and stuff down in it or water from the outside. It's not tight, there's no gasket, so it'll drain out if that's the case. There you can see my vision come to light. All new wiring through every tube surface. No wires hanging out here anymore. These will be, but we can maybe tuck them around through this loop where they won't be obnoxious and they maybe won't get a hold of them. But basically, there's not going to be anything dangling out here like there used to be. That used to come out of there and it was looped around through here. Well, that's a recipe for something to grab a hold and chew and pull and whatever. And this metal box, that ain't going nowhere. I mean, they'll have to really hammer on it hard to destroy it. Somebody also brought up conduit. Why don't you use conduit? Well, believe it or not, years ago I tried that on a trailer, and believe it or not, they self-destructed all of that too, because part of the issue was you couldn't get conduit in a long enough piece, and you had to have a splice in it somewhere, and the splices would come apart, and then it would start wearing through the wires, and they would dent it in different places, like between the clamps you had on there, and then it would get bowed, and it wasn't worth it. It's a lot better to do it this way if your tubes are clear that you can pull the wire through. And then, you know, if in 5 or 10 years you got to do it again, pull new wires through it again. It's simpler than I don't know, you know what I'm saying? And also, I will say, I did try once over the years. I thought Harbor Freight, they sold a really handy little wiring kit that had like, it would come with 2 tail lights and all the wiring, and you thought you were in really good shape, you know. And I would buy the heck out of those and use it on different projects. And what I liked about it was it was actually split after maybe 5 or 6 feet or so. The loom would split, and you'd have 2 ground wires, one for each side, and then the tail light wire that you needed on the corresponding side. So it was really made for trailers perfectly. But what I found is, over time, that wire is cheaply made, and it would start to break down, and it would like get the cancer in it, and it would eat the wire from the inside out, and the insulation would look fine. I did that on that tractor for the fender lights. I used that wiring harness, and none of those fender lights hardly work now at all anymore because of that. The wiring is just corroded garbage. So the moral of my story is, if you're going to work on these and buy wiring, buy the good wiring like this stranded together 4 wiring. It's got writing on it that tells you what's what. Different companies make it, but that stuff's super handy, and it lasts a long time. It doesn't go bad like the other wiring does. It's not cheap. It's probably like 25 bucks a roll, but it's so handy for everything. I use it to wire up tractor fender lights, because then you have a ground, which you need to get some of those lights to work, and you have 3 different wires you can use for lights. So for instance, you've got one you could use for just flashers, and then a headlight, and then a light on the back of the fender. So you have that all made in this one. The colors won't be what you want, but you can live with that. I mean, it looks neat. You leave them stranded together like that, and they'll stay along the frame of the tractor till it gets up to the dash. And I've done that on a lot of stuff, and it works super handy. And the only reason, like you know, on a lot of these tractors like Fleet Lines and whatever, you can buy the reproduction wire harness that's correct colors and everything for the fender lights, but the problem is a lot of the old ones don't have any wire run back for a flasher, and I put flashers on everything because the way people drive now, I figure anything that's flashing is better than nothing, and so maybe they'll see it before they totally run me over and kill me. But that's what that's what I'm thinking there with that. But that wiring's super handy like that. So anyway, I think we're gonna leave this one here. We've got ourselves set up really good now for the next part, which will be hopefully hammering this home, hooking up all of the lights and doing the finish connections there. And then we will test it, and if it looks like it's still not going to stay connected good, we will cut the plug off the pre-made thing, and we'll put on one ourselves that plugs into the truck, because apparently that's just not going to play ball with our setup, you know. But and then the last thing we'll do is worry about those roof lights, and the only reason I say that is those are original. I see they still have the rivets on them, but you can't really see, I mean, with it like that, I don't know that I'm a fan of that. I'm almost a fan of getting a piece of angle iron and bolting it to there, and then I'll bolt it back a little bit and then put my light bar across here so that the tops of the lenses are flush with this, so they're not protruding, but they're also facing you where you're getting the full effect of brightness for it. Yeah, that's more complicated and extra work, but I feel like if we're gonna do it, we might as well do it right, you know, for once. That also in theory will protect those lights, because if you had it like this and you went under a tree, you'd probably end up with them just like that, where they had no lenses on them anymore. But my way, if you went under a tree, the branch would hit the angle iron, and the only way you'd tear the lenses off is if you backed into something that could hit them. But I'm going to keep them back where they're, you know, behind this, so that it's not like the first thing that hits when you back up. But I think we're set up here for success, I'm hoping, and it shouldn't take too much longer to make that happen, because I need to use it, like I said, in the next couple of days. We need to get that job done so I don't have to be worrying about that when it's school bus time again, because that's really unhandy to try to do anything when it's when you got to drop what you're doing. So anyway, we're gonna leave this one here. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.